So you're thinking about moving to Newton, Massachusetts, but you're not sure. What's the commute like, either into the city or out into the suburbs? What does Newton have to offer? Schools, safety, what kind of parks, other types of activities that you might be looking for when you're making the move to Newton, Massachusetts. Well, in this video, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna hop into my computer here. I'm gonna take you on a tour around Newton, show you all the different hotspots and what you can expect from this great city. We're getting after it right now. My name is Andy with Living in Greater Boston. Every single day, my team and I, we get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you looking to make the move to the Greater Boston area and suburbs like Newton, Massachusetts. If this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and click subscribe, tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about everything that's going on in the Greater Boston area and the surrounding suburbs like Newton, Massachusetts. So like I said, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna hop into my computer, we're gonna cut through the fluff, we're gonna dive in right now. Okay, so here we are in my computer. As I mentioned in our vlog tour here, Newton is actually a city group of 13 different villages. So you can see all these villages here. We've got Nonantum, Newton Corner, Newtonville, Newton, obviously the city of Newton, Newton Center, Chestnut Hill, etc. Each one of these villages has its sort of like own little feel to it. Chestnut Hill is very much a, older, more established neighborhood. That's where Boston College is. It's very close to the city. As you can see, we've got Brookline over here to the east. The Country Club, or the Country Club as it's called, is down here just to the east of that as well. This is actually where the US Open was played last year. Newton is about 18 square miles, has about 90,000 people living in it. And it really has access to just about anything that you need. So that's one of the big drawing points of Newton. That, in addition to the fact that it has a really highly rated school system. So niche.com has rated it as an A+ school system. As you can see from its proximity to the city of Boston, pretty fast getting into the city. So you can take the Mass Turnpike as you head in, take the Mass Turnpike into the city. Just north of the city, you've got the airport. So as you can see, Boston Logan International Airport, just northeast of the city there. So it's still a pretty easy commute getting in and getting out. Mass Pike at rush hour can be a bit of a parking lot. So that's one of the things to kind of keep in mind as you're planning your commutes. But as you can see, we're inside what we affectionately call the 128 belt. So that 128 belt is this whole area right here. So this area right here is sort of, I guess if you're from Boston, this is where you really consider yourself living in Boston. As we get outside of that area, we've got the 495 belt. And so in between 128, 95, and 495, this is where it's sort of like you've grown tired of the city and you're moving out into the burbs. And then once we get outside of the city, or outside of 495, this area right in here, going out towards Worcester and all the suburbs of Worcester, well, there'll be dragons out there. All right, so let's focus back in on Newton. As I mentioned, Newton has a top-rated school system. One of the big benefits of Newton as well is really get a diverse mix of housing options. So, you have sort of newer luxury apartment complexes that are being built up. You have some older, more established apartment complexes. You have $5, $6, $7, $8 million homes, which you can see this one's pretty nice. It's got a basketball court. You've got old Tudor style homes, old colonials, a lot of different mixes in there, but there's also some really nice fixer-uppers that you can get into. So you see this one right here is a nice little fixer-upper they can get into for, in Boston standards, pretty inexpensively. So what I want to do is we do a deeper dive into the Newton area is jump into some of these
villages that we have in Newton, show you some of the nuances, some of the differences in the villages. All right, so over here in Chestnut Hill, up in the eastern side of Newton, we've got the Old Chestnut Hill Historic District. This is definitely where you're going to find a lot of the old homes, lots of Tudor style homes like you see right here. This is just a very classic Boston type of neighborhood. Over here, we've got Chestnut Hill Reservation, Chestnut Hill Reservoir. We've got a lot of different T stops over here, which is where you can get the Green Line heading in and out of Boston. Obviously, you've got Boston College there, Mount Alvernia Academy, which is a private girls' school. And then we've got Newton Commonwealth Golf Course, which I mentioned before. As we head up into Newton Corner tends to be a little bit more on the urban area or urban side. In Newton Corner, you're going to find still a lot of different restaurants. We've got some shopping that happens there from a standpoint of little shops that are on the main drag. But you'll find more. We're going to find a lot more multifamilies as we head into this part of Boston, the Brighton area. You're going to find a lot of multifamilies, lots of rental units for college students that are either going to BC or BU, Babson. Lot of college rentals in that area that are going to be over here in the Oak Square, Brighton area, and then also heading into Newton Corner, over into Newtonville as well. So here you'll see in Newtonville, that's where we have Newton North High School. We've got a Whole Foods Market over here. As we head west, we've got the Fessenden School, so it's another private school. And then heading down along the Mass Pike here, we've got Auburndale. So Auburndale sits on the border of Weston here to the west, where another country club, Pine Brook Country Club. So Auburndale, very similar to what we saw up in the Newton Corner area, very densely populated with multifamily residences, 2 families, 3 families, apartment complexes. And then as we head south a little bit more, it becomes a little bit more suburban feel to it. So the Waban area is definitely one of the more sought after areas in Newton. Waban is where you can definitely get a little bit more land, definitely older homes as well. The other nice thing about Waban is that it's not too far from 95 and then Route 9, which passes along through right there. And then as we head back east, you've got another Whole Foods Market. This is right by the Cold Spring Park, which is where I brought you to at the beginning of our vlog tour. And then you head into Newton Center. Newton Center is very much a city center feel to it. It has a center parking lot and all the different shops, restaurants around it. So Newton Center is definitely a good spot. So as I was mentioning at the beginning of this, one of the prime attractions about Newton is it's just so central to everything in the greater Boston area. So looking at some of the real highlights, Boston is known as an education and medical hub. So here we've got St. Elizabeth's. This is over in the Brighton area. It's actually where I was born. We've got Newton Wellesley Hospital over here on the Wellesley border, and then obviously as you get into the Boston area, that's where you're going to have all of the other major campuses. So you've got Brigham and Women's Hospital, you've got Beth Israel, Mass General, all these other hospitals there. As far as schools go, we've got some higher education right around this area. You have Boston College, and then we obviously have all of the schools that are within Newton. So Newton's actually serviced by a whole bunch of schools. So we've got 15 elementary schools, so that's going to take you K through 5. And then we've got 4 middle schools and 2 high schools. So the high schools, Newton North, Newton South. So a lot of different options there. There's also a whole bunch of private schools in the city of Newton and then in the surrounding areas. The other nice thing about Newton is it has a whole lot of green area. So I think if you watch the vlog tour that I took you through, down in this area right here where you see the Whole Foods Market, you've got, this is where Cold Spring Park is. Right here, we've got Braeburn Country Club, Woodland Golf Club, and then as we head down south, we've got Charles River Country Club. These are private clubs. There's also Newton Commonwealth, which is a public course, which I have played a couple of times. Not bad. Not bad to get out there and do as I do, which is hack around a little bit. So there you see it, Newton Commonwealth. It's right up there on the border of Boston. The other nice thing about Newton is that it has so much to offer from a public transportation standpoint. So we're right on the Green Line. You've got the bus, you've got commuter rail, you've got pretty much any way to get in and out of Boston is going through Newton.
All right, so that does it for our tour around Newton, Massachusetts. So remember, if you guys are, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to reach out to us so we can be of assistance so that you can make a smooth move to the greater Boston area. All of our contact information is in the description below. And until the next time, hope to see you around town.